Hey there, it's movie night. This week we're looking at Up the Downstairs Case, 1967, directed by Robert Mulligan, fame as To Kill a Mockingbird movie, and I guess that was done in the 60s as well. It stars Sandy Dennis as Sylvia Barrett, Patrick Bedford as Paul Berenger, Eileen Hackard as Henrietta Passerville, Ruth White as Beatrice Shackler, and Jean Stapleton of All in the Family fame as Sadie Finch. Ruben, this film, I didn't even know who Sandy Dennis was, but I guess she was just coming from an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? I mean, Who's Afraid of? I think is it Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? I'm not sure. What's that?
No, but go on.
Okay, maybe you will correct me. I can't remember the title right now. Anyway, so this film takes us to New York in the 60s, and it's a young teacher who is really, it's the first day. Right when you see this film, it starts off the first day, and you see her just really dealing with two things, Ruben. One thing is dealing with all the red tape that education kind of throws at us, with all the forms you have to fill out, and that comes throughout the whole film. That the teachers, and even today, I would say teachers today, we deal with a lot of red tape, a lot of paperwork, and sometimes it bypasses what's going on in the classroom. It's more important than what's going on with these young people that we have every day. And so we see that, and we also see the relationships that she builds with her students. Of course, at first it's difficult, and you see that. You see her building up relationships, building up friendships with other teachers. And there's a teacher that actually is kind of sweet. What's that?
You were right. She wasn't Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. I thought you were referring to the big one.
Oh, the big one. Okay, thank you. You know what? Okay, good. I wasn't really sure, but
I thought you were referring to another one. But forget me. I'm wrong.
Thank you, Ruben. I can't put this on my calendar. But anyway, so that being said, the film, like I shared, Ruben, and I want you to know I really enjoyed it. I thought this was a film, Ruben, that my mother-in-law wanted me to watch, and then I asked her, I talked to her about it, and she said, no, that wasn't the one. Like, oh darn, I thought this was the film. But I'm so glad I watched it, and we're reviewing it because I enjoyed it so much. And the reality is that you see, just like the Three Idiots that we reviewed this week, you see young children really taking whatever the teachers are sharing and really putting in their hearts and having it affect them. There is a situation where a young lady has a crush on her teacher, and which is real, we see that all the time. And then how they talk to one another, and you see some mistakes that this teacher makes with this young girl, and how it affects her life. And you see that these kids are human beings, and I think that's what the film brings out, is that these kids are looking for adult figures to look up to. But again, it's all about the relationships, and that the relationships are way more important than how many forms you're going to fill out. And so, Ruben, that's what I think I enjoy most, is that in the end, it's all about those relationships.
Okay. Well, by the way, what film was your mother-in-law recommending you see?
And you're not going to believe this one, Ruben. She's not sure. She's going to get back to me. I know I told you that too. I said,
I'm glad this was a mistake, because
really?
I really like this film. And you have to start with Sandy Dennis. Her performance here is first grade, and she's a first-year teacher, so there's a sense of insecurity about that first-year teacher with many of us. There's that anxiety, and what a way to perform that type of person. At some level, her speech pattern is interesting. It's kind of halting and a near stammer at times. I think somebody who could watch this at first might say, what is she doing? Is she a good actress? Almost like she's too perfect. Almost it's almost like you plucked her out of a documentary of a teacher, or you caught her on camera. She's that good. And I guess the comparisons of this film for me would be on the line of a Conrack or a To Sir with Love, in the sense that you have this character who doesn't really belong. It's very fish out of water. Haven't we seen that in real life? Haven't maybe we been there in real life? Haven't we been that teacher? Yeah. And so there are certain things as you watch it that you want to say, ooh, maybe she shouldn't do that. Well, I'll ask you, and Do you take roll? Anderson here,
No.
Bartlett here. Now, it might take us a few, so you say no, and me neither. It might take us a couple of years to figure out that's a waste of time. Have somebody else take roll, pass out a piece of paper for them to write their roll, or just take roll later. Somebody can walk in late and you didn't mark them present. So it's just a time waster. But beyond that, I think that's real though.
Oh yeah.
She was doing little things like this. Um, the she says at one time, as she's inundated, as you indicated, by memos, announcements, circulars. She says, there is no time for teaching. It's the dilemma of first-time teachers swimming in minutia. And then really, not just first-time teachers, any teachers, but I mean the first time in the sense of how they manage it and their frustration with it. And so I would just say that it's true to life. And there's other interesting things that make it successful, including an admin that in a way played an overly concerned admin, which we've seen before. However, it's almost played farcical by this. Keep saying it's thanks for the grunts of support.
Sorry, I was like, wow, amen, brother, amen.
But there's a point on the in terms of they're at a dance and the admin says to the students that are getting very close to each other, right? Remain at a vertical position at all times. And come on, would an admin really do that? But it's played for laughs, but the point is well taken. And so I just want to briefly also mention that another admin played by Sorrel Book, Boss Hogg, for some of you who remember Dukes of Hazzard, he plays another admin who is actually pretty serious. And it seems to be a pretty strong admin who tells her as she's getting ready to resign to stay. And he gives a real persuasive speech to her. And he mentions that the mistakes she's made are not fatal. She is acting like a first-year teacher in some respects, and she is born to teach. He tells her, what an inspiring thing to tell somebody. Admins can really learn. Not, and a lot of admins do, can do that and do that, but very fine performances all around. Very good.
Yeah. Ruben, even the title, right? Up the downstairs case. There's a scene where she's going up the stairs and she's not supposed to go up those stairs because there's some stairs that go down, some that go up. And it happens right away in the beginning of the film. And you get that feel that, wait a minute, there's a lot of direction here at this school. There's a lot of, this is the way we do things. And if you don't do it the right way, then you're going to be told something. And so that's what she's getting right off the bat. But she was incredible. When I was watching this film, Ruben, my wife was there watching with me, and she's just looking at me. She just acts like it's so real. She's such a real. You really believe that, and she's a teacher. And so, no, I think that's just acting. I mean, it proved that she got an Academy Award the year before, and she probably should have got something for this. But yeah, I enjoyed it as well, and we both.
What does it mean, though? I mean, it's meaningless. Academy Awards are meaningless. They don't really say anything because a lot of people, right? I mean, I bet you if you look,
I guess overall, you're right.
I bet you if you look back at that year,
mm-hmm.
The other four candidates were qualified and were more than deserving. And I want to mention we reviewed Three Idiots, and because Amir Khan, I put, of course, I mean, they're two different type of actors. I would say Sandy Dennis is more realistic. Amir Khan is a motive performance type of actor who is fantastic in his own way, in his own unique way. But Amir Khan refuses awards, and it's probably because, I know this is beyond what we're reviewing. I'm going to go back to, but it's probably because of the quote you mentioned that he said in that movie, and that is, excellence is what you should really chase, is what you should go for, and success is going to follow you. So with Sandy Dennis, of course, I want to say one real briefly. There's a scene at the towards the end with Joe, one of her
Mm.
students, in which he comes closer and closer to her after a parent comes, they're alone, and he misinterprets her her concern for him as a student who is dropping out and getting into problems and getting interventions left and right by admin and teachers. And he misinterprets that as a romantic gesture because he probably hasn't known love. And that moment when he's getting closer and closer to her, two things in my mind were happening. She's either gonna give in and fall for and that's big problems, or just as bad or worse, he assaults her. I mean, worse, obviously, if he assaults her. But well, I guess on the other end, it's an assault in another way. If she right in your mind,
I thought she was being assaulted by what he was doing. Yeah.
or she gives in. Did that ever cross your mind?
It did. I swear, I felt the same way. I go, is she going to give in?
Right. That's my point. Is that either way, it's bad, it's terrible, and I'm thinking this is cinema. This is real cinema. This is tension. This is well done, well played, and well written, and it's very chilling. And I won't give in too much. I think this movie is certainly worth watching, and it's great. Highly recommended, of course.
Very good. Well, thank you, Ruben. Thank you for joining us again this week for movie night. And again, the film is Up the Downstairs Case, 1967, starring Sandy Dennis. Watch it. Have a good one. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.